Birinchi qismida o'zingizlar ko'rib turganinglardek platforma bilan tanishgansizlar, to'g'rimi? Login, parollar hamma barcha idoralarga berilgan edi va undan tashqari sizlar bevosita mana Adliya vazirlik nomlaridan o'sha eshitdinglar taqdimotni funksiya, talablar va davlat xizmatlari haqida. Ikkinchi qismida biz bevosita mana ixcham guruh bo'lib arab amirlikdan kelgan mutaxassislar bilan tanishamiz, eshitib olamiz va har bitta instrument, mexanizm bo'yicha o'rganib olishimiz kerak bo'ladi. Qanaqa qilib ular joriy qilishgan edi. Masalan, bugun ertalabdan juda ko'p inglizchada mana customer pulse, customer counsel degan narsalarni eshitganmiz. Lekin hozir mana bevosita biz bilan 4 ta mutaxassis tajribasini bo'lishib olib, qanaqadir savollar bo'lsa javob berib, sizlar bilan mana kelasi 2 soat o'tkazishadi. I was just briefly saying that we had our technical platform presentation as well as a Ministry of Justice presentation in the first part of this workshop when we looked at what is already available and we tried to do this logging and passwords with the ministries because they have now open account for the platform, and now we are moving to specifically listening to and learning from the wonderful experts coming from UAE to look and dive into specific instruments. The ones that we heard in the morning in passing, like customer console, customer pulse and others, but now we will dive into to see and understand the practicalities of how we're going to do it and what is actually, unpacking for the ministries and institutions in Uzbekistan, what we expect from them to be done on the platform. So now, without further ado, I would like to give a floor to our wonderful partners from UAE, and floor is yours. One, just housekeeping rules. We all have to speak into microphones because we have interpretation and they need to listen to from the microphone. So please do not forget to switch on and switch off the mics when you speak. Thank you so much. And without further ado, I give a floor back to our Arab colleagues. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Aziza. Good afternoon, everyone. I would like to thank you again for being here today, and we hope you had a great session this morning. So I would briefly take you through the zero bureaucracy periodic table. So this slide explains a framework used in the zero bureaucracy program, which helps us identify government procedures which we can prioritize or simplify or eliminate. The main idea is to classify the priority levels into 2 factors. As you can see, the first factor is the complexity level in the red block. The complexity level refers to how complex is it to accomplish a service in terms of number of entities involved, number of approval lines, number of documents required, and the waiting time. The second factor that we take into consideration is the usage intensity. The usage intensity refers to how frequently is the service being used. So when we say a service has high usage intensity, we mean that the service is being used by many people within the government itself. So the formula for calculating the usage intensity is sigma, the total number of transactions of that specific service over the total number of transactions within the whole entity. Moving on, so in brief, the more complex and more frequently the service or the procedure is, the higher the priority and the more important is it to eliminate the service because it will have the most impact. So as you can see, the first level, whatever procedure will fall in the first level, which means it is the highest priority. Then the green block, we have the second level, which is a medium priority. And the third level in yellow is the lowest priority, which means not many people are using these services. So that's why it will have the least impact. Moving on to the secondary scope of application, we have 4 levels. The first level is between the entity and a local entity. So if you simplify or eliminate a procedure between an entity and a local entity, it will have the most impact. Moving on to the second level between the entity and a federal entity, then within the service process, and lastly, with the entity itself. Let me give you an example of a procedure that we tend to simplify with the entity itself. For example, let's say an HR service where the employees tend to get approval on their leaves. So if we have a centralized one platform for all employees to just drag and put the dates of their holiday and it gets approved by first line manager, then we would consider it to be the third level. It is considered to be a simplified service, but it would have the least priority as I have explained. So when we moved to the second cycle of the Zero Bureaucracy program, we had focused more on the digital bureaucracy part. As you can see here, whatever will fall in the red block would be considered the first level, which will have the highest priority. And then we have the second level, and the third level is the gray area. So in this periodic table, we have four main factors, which are the digital experience quality. It is the quality you get when you accomplish a service using a website. For example, if it is easy to get through, the names of the services are easy to understand and to get, then the digital experience quality would be very high. Moving on to the digital adoption level, the digital adoption level refers to the number of digital services within the entity itself compared to the total number of services the entity provides. Moving on to the integration level, as I have explained, it's the same as the first periodic table, and the complexity level. So to give you a better understanding, I have some examples here. So let's say if a service has a very high transaction density, which means many people use this service, and the digital adoption level is high, then the dot will fall here. And the digital experience quality, if it was low, then it would be here, which means that we have to zero this process. The integration level is within the entity itself, so the dot will fall here. And the complexity level is medium, the dot will fall here. So in this case, we have two dots on the red block, which means that this service has a high impact and many people use this service. So if it was simplified, it will have the most impact on people. Moving on to the second example, where the transaction density is medium, which means a moderate number of people are using this service, and the digital adoption level is high, the dot will fall here. If the digital experience quality is high, the dot will fall here. The integration level is within the service process, and the complexity level is very high. So in this case, as you can see, we have two dots on the second level and two dots on the third level. So this service will be counted as if it is in the second level, and it will have a moderate priority to be simplified. Moving on to the last example, where we have the transaction density very low, the digital adoption level is high, the digital experience quality is very high, and the integration is within the entity itself, as the example I gave you with an HR process, then this process will be counted as the third level, which will have the least impact, as not many people will be affected if we simplify the service. But still, it doesn't mean that we don't consider it in simplifying. We do consider it in simplifying, but the impact will be the least impact. As you know, in the Zero Bureaucracy program, the impact accounts for more than 55% of the assessment criteria. So we have to focus on the impact it causes. We are done with the periodic table. I would now move the mic to my colleague Amira from the Ministry of Energy and Infrastructure, who will be explaining the zero bureaucracy radar, which will also help you identify which procedures to eliminate or simplify. I believe my Sirajuddin have shared with you the Excel sheet. Can you kindly please open it on your laptops? After Amira finishes her explanation, we will move around and guide you on how to use it. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. I hope that, because I see you all quiet, and I feel like we need to also feel that you are following with what is happening. I want to open the floor before we ask my colleague Amira to go through the radar. We look at the, today you looked at the periodic table and how it works, and I wanted to know how do you feel about it? Do you feel like you understood how this framework works, or do you feel you need more in-depth analysis? I would like to hear from one or two of you who would like to share your experience so far.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for presentation. It will be for program, and I think it will be more profitable. And I am from Agency of Social Security of Uzbekistan, and I would like to ask about differentiation of digital experience quality and digital adoption level. I'm seeing here very high, medium, and low. I don't understand. I didn't understand how prioritize.
I will explain, and then Shamma maybe can take this also in details. In the digital adoption level, the low, medium, high, and very high, it refers to the percentage of usage from the total number of transactions. So for example, I'll give you an example, registering a new vehicle, okay? If 50% is digital and 50% is physical, then it is medium level. Correct ولا غلط شمة? And Shema will say it's correct even if I say and as you go, it's higher based on the level of adoption of this of users. Yeah, users using the service, and also صح شمة صح يعني عادي correct. And then if we look at the digital experience, it's the complexity of the service. How many steps does it take? How many fields do they do they need to fill? How can we eliminate, how long does it take to complete the journey through the digital experience? Understood it? No?
From traditional to
No, this is focused completely on the digital experience. So let's say today we're looking at the digital experience. Is it highly complex? Is it low, medium? Is it or is it low? And complexity is measured by number of steps and times that the time that it's taken. Maybe also if you can clarify, Shamma. Go ahead.
The digital experience quality, it refers to how easy is it to accomplish a service using a digital platform. So is it easy to get through the service and accomplish it from the first time you try to accomplish the service, or it will take you 2 or 3 tries? It also takes into consideration the UX UI. If you are able to get to the service you want to, from the first try, you know the names of the services, it's very clear, then it would be the digital experience quality would be considered as very high, as it is simple to get it. Even if we talk about the notification, for example, if you want to renew your car license, for example, you will raise a request, and then you get a notification that you have already filled the required documents, and it will go through the team for analyzing and reviewing your details. And then once it's reviewed, they also give you another notification, so you are aware of the entire process. Whereas the digital adoption level, it refers to the number of services within the entity that it is digitalized. For example, let's say an entity will have 50 services. Let's say if 10 are digitally adopted, 10 services you can accomplish using digital platform. So you will divide the total number of digital services over the total number of services within the entity itself. So this is the difference. I hope you got it. If you have any questions, I'm here to answer them.
Thank you, it's clear.
You're most welcome.
I think, this was a good question, and I'm sorry, maybe I did not answer correctly. Thank you, Shamma. Anybody else has any questions or comment or recommendation, also something you want us to enhance in this, the work we're doing with you all? Okay, good. خلاص, we'll hand over to Amira now. تفضلي.
Assalamu alaikum. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Amira Al-Jasmi. I will explain for you the Zero Bureaucracy radar. As you can see, this tool consists of 3 sheets, and now I will go through the tool step by step. First, we have this sheet is evaluation criteria. This matrix presents the criteria used to prioritize services for the Zero Bureaucracy program. We identify 8 key criteria to evaluate and rank services based on their impact and improvement potential. So we have first pillar, or the criteria is the customer satisfaction. As you can see, the lower the customer satisfaction, the higher the priority for improvement. Also, we have the second criteria. We have service demand volume. Services with higher demand, especially those exceeding 10%, are prioritized. Then we have the number of external touch points. The more external entities involved, the higher the need to simplify the process. Then we have the service completion time. Services that take longer than 10 days are giving higher priority. Also, we have the revenue impact. Service generate higher than 5 million are critical to optimize. Also, we have the complaint rate. If complaint exceeds 10% of total transaction, the service become a priority. Then we have also the number of required documents. Service required more than 5 documents indicate complexity and needs simplification. Also, we have the number of fields in the application. If the application includes more than 5 fields, it's increased user effort, so have a priority for redesign. Finally, each service is scored based on these criteria, and the higher the total score, the higher the priority for development and improvement. Going forward, the second sheet shows the evaluation of service development priority using a structured score model. All you need is to fill out the data in the gray area based on the 8 criteria I mentioned before, such as customer satisfaction, transaction volume, complaint, service duration, and operation complexity. These inputs are then converted into a score across the key criteria like importance, demand, impact, and effort, as shown in the gold section. So what you need to do here, you will mention the service name, and then you will just fill up all fields here. Then the total score will be automatically here, no need to fill, and then you will have the total score of the priority. So the model automatically calculates an overall priority score, which helps identify which service should be improved first. For example, service with high demand, high complaint, and strong impact receive higher priority, and low impact service rank as lower. Then we have, after you fill these all, we go to the third sheet, which is the last sheet to set priority for implementing the projects. This sheet explains how to prioritize initiatives. So this sheet explains how to prioritize initiative for implementing using the value versus the complexity. The main objective of this tool is to support better decision making by evaluating each initiative based on two key factors: the value of it delivers and the complexity of implementing it. The goal is to maximize impact while minimizing time, effort, and cost. So, organizations should focus on initiatives that provide the highest value with the least complexity. All what if you need here to fill out and assess your project's value and complexity in this gray section, and the tool is generated to give you the priority based on 4 categories. So after you assess your project and fill the gray area here, we can go just automatically. You will have the priority of your project in 4 categories. The first category is the quick wins, which is this one. Okay, quick wins. These are high value, low complexity initiative. They are the top priority because they can be implemented quickly and deliver immediate tangible results with minimal resources. Second, we have the strategic project. These initiatives have value but are complex to implement. So the first 2 category is the higher priority to implement. Then we have down there the low priority. These are easy to implement initiatives but with limited value. They can be considered when resources are available but are not a priority. The last category is reassessment. These initiatives have low value and high complexity. They are usually postponed, reassessed, or even dropped due to their limited return on investment. So this approach helps organizations ensuring that effort are focused on initiatives that create the greatest impact. This all about the Excel sheet. Now we can go around. إن بتوزعونهم بتقسمونهم كلاسترز ولا كيف عشان أراويهم كيف يعبونه.
So we will be moving now to service bundling. So let me explain in brief what do we mean by service bundling. So the government in the United Arab Emirates is moving away from separated services into integrating services. So instead of visiting multiple entities to accomplish a service, we have integrated a number of entities that are related to each other under one umbrella, under one service. And the bundles cover various life events such as employment, marriage, childbirth, as well as housing. So the main goal of the service bundling is to enhance the digital experience and simplify procedures and enhance ease of access for citizens as well as residents. Moving on, the service bundles. So we do service bundling to simplify procedures. We want to reduce the number of visits and required documents when accomplishing a service. We would also want to improve the customer experience. So we request the data only once. I am not sure if you are aware, in the UAE, we tend to use the UAE Pass. It's a one-time login and all your data will be automatically generated. The third goal is enhancing government efficiency. So we integrate between government entities. And lastly, we increase satisfaction level because it's obvious. Whenever the service is easy to accomplish, the customer will feel satisfied because he didn't spend a lot of time and effort into getting the service done. I will now give you live examples of bundles. The first bundle is a Manzili bundle. It's by the Ministry of Energy and Infrastructure. So it is a live event service from the United Arab Emirates. It focuses on housing benefits, which has multiple services under one umbrella. So it has actually 18 integrated services, 12 proactive services, and 29 partners. So we moved from fragmented services into one integrated services, which is the Manzili bundle. So we have saved more than 12 million hours, which cost more than 75 million dirhams. And the satisfaction level have also increased from 27% to 84%. Moving on to the second example, which is Mabruk Mayak. Mabruk Mayak is a service bundle which combines all services associated with a newborn citizen. It also includes the family book, creating identity number, issuing a passport, and identity card all through one system. So you basically log in into the Usrati website, you review the application, you attach the picture of the newborn, you pay the required payment, and you receive the final product, which includes the birth certificate along with the passport and the ID card. So it's just in one click, one step, you will get all of these documents. The third example is Usrati Bundle. This is also a proactive government program under the Federal Authority for Identity, Citizenship, Customs and Port Security. It was developed by telecommunications and the digital government regulatory in collaboration with federal and local entities. And it provides services automatically. Services include marriage contract documentation, as well as marriage grants and issuing and updating family records. So let's say if you have a newborn, you don't have to update the records. It will automatically be integrated and the system will update it. So it simplifies the steps, the time required, as well as the effort. So in return, it will increase the customer satisfaction. I will now move the mic to my colleague Shamma, who will be explaining the customer pulse and the customer council.
So I will go through the customer pulse and the customer council. I will start with the customer pulse. The customer pulse is the UAE government launched the customer pulse on 2022 as a flexible digital survey that is sent immediately after a customer use any government services. It's designed to ensure customer experience across all services delivered, including services center, smart applications, and websites. The survey is sent to customer view email or through a survey link, includes SMS messages. So this is the survey that's the customer received. He can just click how many stars he would like to give the survey, and then if he would like to add any comments in any on the service that he got, it's not mandatory. And then there is all of the feedback that we take from the customer. It goes under one dashboard, and this dashboard is for the leaders. It's updated every day, every second, and it shows the total of the transactions and how many total of survey they had, and how many total of services is under, and overall satisfaction on the entity services. The leaders of the entities can see the negative feedback, and on the open boxes, if any customer would like to add any comments, these comments, the leaders of each entities can see it, if it was negative or positive feedback. Going to the customer council, the customer council is a council that's created by each entities. It's a mandatory that each entity has like couple of councils that they need to do in each per year. So they bring all of the customers and they sit with them, listen to them, have the feedback of the services of the entity, their feedback on the services of the entity, and the entity sits with them and takes their feedback, try to listen to the customer and what he would like to fix. I think the best thing that if you are like now starting the zero bureaucracy, I would recommend you guys to bring your customers, sit with them, hear what they would like to have, and what struggle them when they are using the service, how they would like to get the service. So our governments listens to the customers and take their feedback, draw the journey of the service with them, and after testing the creating the improving the service, they go and call they do another customer council, and they show them the improvements that they have done for them, and they have their feedback on the improvements and the new improvements on the service, and they get their feedback if it's okay and if it suits them and if they would like to have any improvements on the service. So this is it from my side. Now we will have a small like mini practical sessions. We'll pass through you guys to test the radar that Amira have explained, and we will try to answer all of your questions if you have any questions, and we'll be here to support you. And if you have any ideas you would like to share with us, we'll be here. And if you have any in mind, like ideas of bundles you would like to create, we have our team here to help you and create maybe a couple of examples to work on. So maybe I think all of you have your laptops. We can start like having like 4 by 4 maybe. From here, this 3 together, and there's 3. Amira, if you can assist with them. If you can open your, the radar have server sent to you guys, so we can work on.
So first, you just will enter here. So first here, you choose your list of services. You will mention it here. Here you mention the service name, okay? And then we will fill out the gray area, okay? So first we'll have the customer satisfaction result. So for example, you choose renew license service. So you will write here renew license service. If you have the customer satisfaction result, just put it here, like for example, it's 60, 50, 20, just fill it here. So I'll fill here, for example, just you have the Excel sheet on your laptop, just enter here your service name, and then here you will put the customer satisfaction result on for this services. And then you will have put here the number of transaction. Okay, so okay, what you write I can't read. شو مكتوب؟ شو كاتب؟ ما أقدر أقرأ. ما أدري شو مكتوب. What's writing here? What's mentioned here? Sorry. Okay. Then it's أنا ما أقدر أشوف. The 75% or 7. Okay, 3,000. Okay. Total complaints. This service have, for example, 10 complaints. Okay. And then we have this one for the service. How many days it takes to accomplish? How many days? For example, let's say it takes 20 days. Okay. And then we have document required. A customer to submit the service to submit the service. How many documents he need to submit? Let's say 5 documents. Okay. And then we have the fields. How many fields customer need to fill when he submit the application form for the services? Let's say 25. Related services stop. Before the customer come to the service of your entity, how many stops he go with other entity? Like, for example, let's say five entities stop he go until he reach to your entity. Expected revenue, maybe if the service have fees, so how much the revenue? Let's say, I don't know, give me a number. 2 million. Okay, 2 million. Okay. So as you say, just move there. As you say, this part is filled automatically. You complete the row. This part is completed automatically, and then the rank here it's 18. So it's compare when you fill it all the services here. you will get here the priority for the services. The higher number of priority, the total score of the priority, the higher important to improve the service. Okay, and after you fill here, you just will suggest here the service development. For example, as we mentioned here, we have the first one which we are do it as example from Ministry of Energy and Infrastructure. It's about housing services. So the project we suggest is the monthly bundle, which is for housing services. And then, for example, for licensing services, you may he suggest what project you will do. For example, you will do integration with some entities, for example. So you will write down here the name of the project you will work to improve the service. Okay?
O'rtoqlar qaranglar, mana hozir asosiy qilinayotgan ishimiz qanaqa qilib biz qaysi xizmatlarni tanlab olishimiz kerak. Mana savol qo'yadigan bo'lsak, aynan shu Excel tablitsada, jadvalda biz har bitta xizmatlarni qo'yib chiqib, baholab, keyin eng prioritetni, eng muhim bo'lgan, eng dolzarb bo'lgan xizmatlarni tanlab olishimiz kerak bo'ladi. Endi ularni eshitib, men hozir mana sezyapman, ikkita masalada ikkilanish paydo bo'lishi mumkin, chunki o'zimizda masalan shu narsa yo'q. Va hozir tezgina so'rab olaylik, biz eshitib olaylik. So Amir, you have issue with fields. I just wanted to clarify, when you say fields, what did you mean? How many
Fields.
lines they have to fill in or what?
Yeah, how many input he need to do? Like, for example, name, age, whatever, date of
То
birth.
есть formada qaysi ma'lumotni necha marta so'raladi? То есть input degani, field degani поля. Сколько полей нужно заполнять? And if it's out of field, so do we have to count or not? Yes. No. So manually.
Generated, no, because you want the one which make effort for the customer. Sorry.
And one more question. For example, you have customer satisfaction level. I assume in UAE, because you have customer pulse, you actually do measure. It's not the case with all entities. Some of them do, some of them don't. In this case, what would be the best to do as a customer council? Is it a customer satisfaction result? Is it how we feel? Is it something more?
You can do a simple survey, for example, for one time. So you can get the feedback from the customers. This is better for you to start, to know what's the needs of the customers, what he expects from you.
Man so'radim hozir, masalan, hamma ham baholanmaydi o'zi da, to есть xizmat olayotgan odamlar qanaqa qilibda his qilyapti o'zini. Ular aytdilarki, hatto bir marotaba so'rab olib bilib olishlik kerak bo'ladi, qaysi bir muammo eng dolzarbligini. Bunga qarab, aslida qaysi biri bilan odamlar norozi bo'lsa, o'shani tanlashimiz kerak. Bu degani ertaga 100 tadan tanlaganingizda, vazirga borganingizda, "Davay mana buni qilaylik", oson bo'lmaydi. Nabarot, qaysi biri eng murakkab bo'lsa, qaysi birini ketidan odamlar shikoyat qilib, sudlarga borib, jalba qilib yurayotgan bo'lsa, aynan unaqalarni tanlab olish kerak, mana shu Zero Bureaucracy doirasida. Endi savol, boshqa masalalarda qanaqadir muammo paydo bo'lishi mumkinmi, yo'qmi? Yo'q, hammasi tushunarlimi? Masalan, necha kunda o'sha uslugasini, xizmatini ola oladi yoki nechtada hujjat kerak bo'ladi yoki transaction necha marta kelib ketish kerak bo'ladi? Boshqa aspektlar bo'yicha qanaqadir savollar qolganmi, yo'qmi? Hozirgi paytgacha. Yo'q-a? Tushunarli-a? So давайте. Okay, we can move later.
So it's clear. We finished now with the priority list. After you fill all these services, you will get here the list of priority you have. As I told you, the more score here, it's the more higher priority to implement, to focus on. Okay, and then if you fill these, all numbers will be changed after you fill this gray area. Okay. Now, after you get out your project from here, from the column AA, this one, we will move now to the execution prioritization, the third sheet here. Now, this sheet is for evaluate the implementation of your project, if it will be good or no, if you implement the project. So again, you will come here. You will mention your project name or your service name, okay? And then you will start to assess and assess your project by value and complexity. You will again fill out the gray area here, and this one will be automatically calculated. Also, you will fill out the complexity here, and this one will be automatically calculated. So let's start again. You will mention here any project you will start. For example, improving a bundle of license. I don't know. Give me any name for any service or project here. Improvement project here. Then you will check the financial return. If you improve this service, it will be more return for you or no. You will give the score from 5 to 1, high 5 more high impact, 1 more low impact. So for example, let's say here we'll write 5. It will have, if I improve, I will have a higher return. So just fill out here 5, please. Someone is okay. Okay, and then we have the time reduction. If you improve, for example, the service, you integrate with any other entity, you will improve the service. So after you implement this project, the time will be reduced or no? Maybe I will do the improvement, but the time it will not reduce. It will reduce from 10 to 9, for example. So it is lower impact. But if I said after I improve, I will make it from 10 to 2, so it is high impact. Okay, so let's say, I don't know, maybe 2. 2 maybe means not high impact on time reduction. Effort reduction, again, if I have project, I will make integration with some entities. So effort reduction, so you will make effort reduction for the customer. By fields and documents, so you will reduce field and document. So if your project will have more impact, you will put here 5, and if your project is lower impact, you will put here 1. So you will assess based on your project and based on your opinion. Okay. So you can put 3, for example. Okay, customer happiness. If you improve the project and improve the service, it will impact the customer satisfaction or no. If it's have high impact on the customer satisfaction, so you will give score 5. If your improve will have like low impact on customer satisfaction, you will do it 1. So let's say 3 again. Okay, and then we have operational efficiency. Reducing resource, lower impact in reduction resources. For example, in your project, you will improve the project, but you will not eliminate the resources. So it will not be that much impact on the resources. So you put it here 5 or 1. Let's say 1 or 2. Okay. As you say, after you fill out or you assess the value of the project, the value rating is automatically calculated here. Moving now to the complexity side, we have the financial resource, if it's available or not. So any project you will work on it, the first thing you ask if there is budget or no. So maybe this project will need some financial resources, or maybe you will do it in-house. So if you have already your financial resources, you can just do it from 5 again. Make the assess from 5. 5 mean revenue, not resource not available. You don't have a budget for implement this project, and we have 1 for revenue resources available. You have the budget allocated for this improvement. So I don't know you have budget or no. So let's say 3. Okay. Human resources, again, there is like some improvement need some technical resources, for example, and the entity they don't have. So you will assess here if you have the expert unavailable. Okay, you will put 5. Expert available, you will put 1. Of maybe between, you will put 3 or 2 or 4. Okay. So moving to technical resources, as I said, maybe some improvement need technical resources. if that entity not ready for technically, maybe the infrastructure of the systems are not ready. So if it's, the entity not ready, you will put 5. If the infrastructure of the entity is ready, you will put 1. So I don't know, maybe we'll say 5. You are already ready to improve your infrastructure. Okay, let's say 5. Again, it's calculated directly here, the complexity rating. Go forward, please, to the right. We fill here 2 projects. Okay. أكثر من شي شرح ما أعرف. We have 2 projects now. We fill out here for 2 projects. Project number 1, it's between quick wins and strategic projects that's been have higher priority to implement. Okay. And then we have the one which we fill it just now. It's number 2 here, which in the sequence is number 2. It's in reassessment. So this project is need to be reassessment. It's not priority to implement. So based on the data you will enter there, you will see the circle here with the number of the projects, so you can know where you allocate your project. If it is quick win to implement, if it is strategic project you can implement, or it's lower priority and it's reassessment. So just you fill and assess your project and it will be fully automated, shown here in this box.
Endi sizlarga savol beraman. Mana masalan biz hozir taklif qilmoqchi bo'lgan narsamiz tushungandan keyin birinchi qadam radarni o'zinglarni idora bo'yicha qilib, ikkinchi qadam bu value complex matrix, to есть qaysi biri realniy, qaysi biri pul talab qiladi yoki odamlarni anaqasi yo'q, potensial saviyasi yetmaydi yoki texnik baza yo'q degan savol qo'ysak, radar bo'yicha hozir gaplashib oldik. Hammaga kerakli ma'lumotlar уже bor, to'g'rimi? Value complex matrix bo'yicha hali o'zbekchasiga o'ylab topamiz o'sha nomini, чтобы было понятно. Value complex matrix qilganda qanaqadir muammo bo'lishi mumkinmi yo'qmi?
Bular hozir aytdilar, har bir punkti o'zingizning мнениеdan kelib chiqib baho desanglar bo'ladi deyaptilar. To'g'rimi? Shunaqa deyman. It depends on your opinion. So may I ask?
Yes.
So you say that each criteria, which we will assess from the 5 to 1.
Yes,
or
based on resources you have. Okay.
Okay, you say that it depends on our opinion, right?
Yeah, opinion based on resources you have. Your opinion, but based on the real actual what you actually have in the entity.
So is there any scales to measure which one is 5, which one is 1?
Yeah, it's mentioned here. It's mentioned here high impact and low impact. For example, let's say a project need to have 5 technical resources. You have only 1 or 2, so you have only available 2, so you will mention 2.
Okay, how I can assess this? How I can be consider that I have only 1 or 5? Is there any scales in measurement too?
Yeah, when you decide to do any project, you need to allocate your resources. You know, budget, employee, technical resources, human resources. Then, if you know that this project need, for example, 5 resources, you need to check your entity that these 5 resources are available or no.
So it's not the work of one person, right? It must be a big team.
Not that much. It's based on the effort you need to do to implement this project. Maybe some project, maybe one human resource is enough. It's based on how much effort that the project will need.
So he's asking whether it can be subjective opinion. For example, is it perception? Okay, I perceive this is to be difficult, or there is more kind of grounded way to come up with these numbers.
Yeah, and you see, with the scale we have, it's just like high impact and low impact. So you can decide, like by perception, where to allocate this, to evaluate this kind of the value or complexity.
shu savol aziza ochiq quvvatli baliq. Misol uchun bizni servisni yaxshilamoqchi bo'lsak, ular aytadilar, imенно servisi menejmentida yo hujjatida qilasan deyaptilar-da. O'sha hujjatda men qattan bilaman, mana shu birinchi kurs ko'rinmayapti. Qanaqa qilib men baholayman? 5 dan 1gacha. Qaysi resursga asosan? Bunga asosan baholayman.
Yo'q, siz buni 100% o'zingiz buni qila olmaysiz. Mana bevosita o'zi men tushunishim bo'yicha oldingi sessiyada gaplashganinglardek reyestr gofus integratsiya qilib olsak, barcha reyestrdagi uslugalar уже chiqib keladi. Keyin har bitta reyestrdagi uslugada mana xizmat bo'yicha bitta birlamchi zveno уже aniq belgilangan, to'g'rimi? Ular bilan bevosita ishlaganinglarda sizlar baholaysizlar, chunki sizlar qatdan bilasizlar, to'g'ri? Aniq qo'yilgan savol. Sizlar bila olmaysizlar, to'g'rimi? Masalan, Minzdrav deylik, o'shanda indikator bo'yicha 5 ta bo'lim bilan o'tirgan bo'lsak, 5 ta bo'limda 5 ta har xil ma'lumot. Bitta indikator bo'yicha. Endi u yog'ini qo'yaverasiz Minzdravga. O'shanga bevosita hamma bilan yig'ib olib, har bitta usluga bo'yicha har bitta отдельный bo'lim bilan ishlashingiz kerak bo'ladi baholashda ham.
Aniq measurement anaqasi bormi? Metodologiyasini, mezonini, mana hozir siz aytyapsiz, pasport bo'yicha qiynaldik. Pasportda mana formula qo'ydik, mana hisoblaymiz. Bu yerda 1 dan 5 gacha qo'yishga qanaqadir
So it's something that maybe we could actually develop together. So they're asking, is it possible to have very specific prescribed criteria for evaluation, so that even from 1 to 5 is not just perception based, but actually they are being guided by very, very strict rules. I know it's not the case now, but do you think we will be able to maybe
We will try. We will
develop?
check how we will try how to maybe I will try to check how we can like do it for you, and maybe I will share it with the team. So let me check how can I don't know. I will try to.
Hamma bunga qo'shiladimi, bo'lmasam qanaqadir harakat qilib ko'ramiz. Baholashda mezonni maksimalni detalizirованный qilib, aynan o'sha 5 nimaga beriladi, 4 nimaga beriladi, mana shunga o'xshagan savollar paydo bo'lmasin deb, to'g'rimi? Все qilamiz, все договорились. Мы разработаем. Juda yaxshi taklif, rahmat. Bizga qo'shilaman, chunki yana boshqa narsa ham bor. Hamma odamlar ham har xil. Ba'zi bir odamlar voy yo'q qiyin qila olmaymiz deydigan bo'lsa, boshqasi paqillatib buni qilib bera oladi bir haftaning ichida. O'shanga mamlaqa bo'lmasin deb mezonda aytganingizdek, bo'lmasam bevosita har bitta raqamga 1 2 3 4 5 nimaga asoslanib belgilash kerak deb o'tib chiqamiz. Rahmat.
Bersak bo'ladimi savol? Savolim shunday iboratki, Birlashgan Arab Amirliklarida aynan shu Excelni ishlatishda ma'lumotlarning qancha foizi elektron tizimlardan olinadi yoki qanchasi o'sha xodimlar tomonidan qo'yiladi o'sha ballar. Men aytmoqchi bo'lganim, agar xodimlar tomonidan qo'yiladigan bo'lsa, unda subyektivlik paydo bo'ladi. Bu jadvalni natijasi obyektiv bo'lmasligi mumkin. Aytmoqchi bo'lganim, hozir xohlagan raqamni qo'yib ketyapmiz. Bu misol uchun o'zimning xizmatim bo'lsa, qaysi vazirlik, idora o'zining xizmatini baholaydida, yuqori ball qo'yib, oxirida natija prioritet past bo'ladi. Ya'ni uni ko'rib chiqmayman, shu ishlayman degan ma'noda. Amirliklarda o'zi qancha foizi buni elektron to'ldiriladi, o'zi avtomat to'ldiriladi, qancha foizini bular qo'lda ruchnoy ma'lumotlarni kiritadi.
Another question, very interesting question. How many % of your Excel sheet on the radar is being populated through the system directly, not by manual inputting?
We are working now to do it using AI, but it's not finalized yet. We make this tool by AI as a system, but it's not finalized in our entity. We are working on it to do it like live data, you know. So, but we are working on that system.
The question is that we in Uzbekistan sometimes feel that in order to avoid zeroing bureaucracy, some agencies might put very high grades to say everything is fine with my service, don't touch it. So the question was, or maybe it's not relevant then to AE per se, but just for you as a professional.
Yeah.
Do you think
need
it would
to
be
validate.
possible to
You
make
need to
this-
validate. For example, For example, so we have the governance to check and the quality of the data it's entering there. For example, customer satisfaction, we have already the customer pulse. So I checked if the number here is right or no. Then I have again the total transaction. We have system here in our entity that telling us that number of transaction in this service is this. So I compare the data it's mentioned here by the data it's already I have it in our system. So there is validation of these all data entering in the Excel sheet here.
Yechim hozir gapirib berdilar. Ba'zi bir ma'lumotlarni boshqa manbadan hisoblab chiqsa bo'ladi. Masalan, ularda customer pulse, biz ham hozir bunga qaror qildik. Customer pulse degani har gal davlat xizmatlarini olganda MyGovuz orqali hammaga bir xil savolnoma kelib chiqadi va o'sha savolnoma API orqali biz yig'ib olamiz. Demak, qanaqadir noto'g'ri ma'lumot ketayotgan bo'lsa, bilinadi, chunki solishtira olasiz boshqa manbalar bilan. Xuddi shunaqa transaction bo'yicha mana menyustiki bor, litsenziyada, kesimida yoki mana MyGovuzlar bor, boshqalar bor. Qo'shimcha qanaqadir boshqa istochniklardan solishtirib, baribir o'sha oxirigacha yetib borish imkoniyati bo'ladi. Quick check, when you say transaction, you mean how many times the service was used?
Number of
applications.
Number of transaction, number of applications customer submit. How many, yeah.
Сколько раз обращались люди по этой услуге?
شو أعطوني كلمة ثانية عن transaction بنات؟
Total of services that have been used per day.
Per day.
No, not per day, per year. All. No, for this one, the satisfaction and the total transaction per year, total complaint per year, but the duration, it's the duration of the service. Document, it's the number of documents. So any total number mean for 1 year, okay?
Siz hozir savolingizga qaytadigan bo'lsak, necha marta o'sha xizmatdan foydalanishgan? Yilda.
bilan nimaligini olishimiz mumkin, MyGov'nikini. Har bitta boshqa vazirlik idoralari o'zini veb-sayti yoki platformasi bor, o'sha yerdan foydalanib, uni ham qo'shib nima qilish kerak ham o'sha yo'q. Uni bitta joyga olib kelgan. O'z ko'rsata olmaysiz. Biz ko'rsatyapmiz. Ko'rsatamiz ham. Shu noto'g'rida o'sha. Misol uchun inson ijtimoiy xizmatlar markazimiz bor. DXMga bormaymiz, bizga o'zimizga olib, o'zimiz tizimimiz borda. Bu yerda hozir noto'g'ri narsa sifat chiqarib, rezultat chiqarish mumkin, misol uchun yasab olish mumkin.
Yo'q, masalan, o'zi sizlarniki to'g'ri inson markaz orqali sizlarda ham xizmatlar ham ko'pda, juda ham alohida sizlarniki ham olamiz, lekin boshqalarni ahamiyat bergan bo'lsangiz, ko'pincha уже bitta centradnovoy okna bilan MyGovuzga o'tyapti. O'zi mana shu aytgancha biz bugun sizlar bilan o'tirganimizda dokladdan bo'ldi, davlat rahbariga, bilmadim ko'rdinglarmi, yo'q, kanallarda ham chiqib ketdi, уже ofitsial rasman hozir bitta farmon, bitta qaror ham chiqadi. Mana adliya o'zlari ishlagan edilar. Shu masalada juda katta ishlar boshlanyapti. Nafaqat adliya raqamlashtirish bilan birgalashib. Baribir o'sha oxirgi anaqamiz-da, sel kudam vashi idem, nimaga o'sha qat'iy ketyapmiz. Oxirgi baribir sel o'sha raqamlashtirishga o'tish va aslida o'sha в одно окно barcha uslubalar bitta joyda bo'lishi kerak. Masalan, arablarda ham shu. Alohida hech kim tarqoq qanaqa yurmaydi-da, har bittasiga alohida. Lekin bu 30-yilgacha, hozir hali vaqt bor, mana 5 yil bor, hali oldimizda. Inson bo'yicha 100% biz alohida olamiz boshida, lekin baribir qanaqadir iloji boricha birlashtirib, odam uchun o'zi aslida bitta nomer bo'lishi kerak, bitta priyomniy bo'lishi kerak, bitta o'sha xizmat oladigan joy ham bitta bo'lishi kerak. Tarqoq emas.
Mobil banking dasturini ko'paytirish, har bir ilovalar o'sha xizmatlarni chiqaryapti-da. Aytmoqchi bo'lganingiz, bu farmon bilan faqat yana qaytamiz shunda mobil MyGov'ga hammamiz bitta yetingni aqmoga, bitta birlashishga bog'lab qolamiz. Ular boya nima bo'ldi-ki, kirish qismida ham nima qildi? Dasturni ko'p nimalar dedi-da, birlashishlarda dasturni qilganmiz dedi.
Qarang, просто доступность aytganim, dasturimiz haqida gapirganimizda ham bu har xil narsalarda haqida gap ketyapti. Inson markazda masalan psixologlar bor, to'g'rimi? Sotsrabotniklar bor. Mana shunga o'xshagan uslugalar to'g'ri o'sha yashayotgan joyga yaqinroq bo'lishi kerak. Qo'lida balki mobil telefondan bo'lishi mumkin emas, to'g'rimi? Chunki bu umuman boshqa qatlam, ehtiyoji ham boshqacha. Lekin ma'lumotda qayerdan, nima qilishim kerak, qayerga borishim kerak, aslida bitta anaqa platformada bo'lishi kerak. Chunki odamlar baribir pensiya oladimi yoki назначение invalidности oladimi, yo bolasiga qanaqadir nafaqami, baribir bitta joyga boradi. Internetga kiradi, qayerga boraman, chiqadi, bo'ldi. Yugurib yurish kerak emas, 3tasiga, 4tasiga, 5tasiga. To'g'rimi? Chunki farqi yo'q, ehtiyoji bitta.
Qaysi qulay bo'lsa o'sha aytmoqchi raqamlashtirish bo'yicha.
Lekin qarang o'rtoqlar, mana biz hozir tushunib oldik. Birinchidan bizga mana qanaqa qilib deb o'ylaysan, perception qo'yish mumkin emas. Juda konkretni bitta shaffof mezon ishlab chiqishimiz kerak bo'ladi. Mana bittadan 5gacha qanaqa qilib baholaymiz. Buni tushunib oldik. Xo'p. Undan tashqari mana ikkita asosiy hozir jadval bo'lsa, birinchisini ko'rdik, radar degani, ikkinchisi matritsa, to есть qanaqa qilib o'shani ko'rib olamiz. Endi savol, ertaga reyestr GoFuz bilan bog'laydigan bo'lsak, reyestrdan tashqari taxminan necha foiz qolib ketgan, qamrab olmagan? Yo hammasi deyarli bormi reyestr GoFuzda? Xizmatlar nuqtai nazaridan 80% bor. Faqat yangilari qolib ketdi. Sizlar qachon o'zi buni 100% yangilattirib kiritmoqchisizlar?
Qandaydir o'sha nima bo'ladimi? Muhokamalar chiqarishdan nimadir o'sha nimasi yig'ishtiradi qilib, shu oxirigacha muddat qo'yib xizmat qilinadi.
Kiritib olinglar deb
qo'yish kerakki, mana shu mezonlarga kiritish muddatlari ko'rib, nizom bormi yo'q bilmayman.
Reyestratsiyadan yuritiladi-da.
Qancha muddatda yangilab olish kerak, o'sha narsalarni nima e'tiborga olish kerak bo'ladi. Qaysi nima o'sha endi biz berishgan ko'pchilik vaqt bizga yozma o'ylashim bo'yicha strategiya raqamlashtirish uchun strategiya kerak. Yuristlar kerak, misol uchun ko'rning aytadilar, bu iqtisodiyot mutaxassislari yozib qo'yib tushuntirib bergan prezentatsiya bergan xodimlar aytyapti.
Bunda ketgan funksiyadan tashqari barcha o'sha normativ hujjatlar ko'rib chiqdik deb 1800 tadan funksiya chiqdi dedilar. O'shanga yuristlar ham kerak bo'lyapti. Kadr kerak bo'lyapti, nizom nimasi bo'yicha o'sha nizom bo'ladi-ku, albatta ustav kapitalni nima qiladi. O'shani bir konsul deganda men shuni tushundim, endi konsul bular boshqa tushuntirdi hozir. Nimalar bilan o'sha customerlar bilan qilgan hozir konsul.
Yo'q, qarang, sizlarga bundan oldin adliyadan tomonidan qilingan taqdimotda 3 ta narsa qamrab olindi. Funksiya, talablar, go'suslugalar. Arablarda faqat go'suslugalar bo'yicha ish yuritilyapti, chunki funksiya bilan talablar bilan hammasi zo'r dahshat o'sha admin reforma qilib bo'lishgan. Boshida boshqa vaziyat, boshqa kichkinagina davlat, juda ixcham va g'us organlar ham ko'p emas. Mana ahamiyat beringlar, energetika bilan infrastruktura bitta vazirlik. Qancha qurilish ketyapti-da Dubayda, lekin baribir UAEda bu bitta bizda hozir 5 ta vazirlik, 2 ta alohida agentlik, 5 ta qo'mita bo'lardi. Bitta mana shu mavzuda energetika bilan infrastruktura. O'shanga talablarni ham biz qo'shishga qaror qildik, lekin funksiyalar bu sal murakkabroq bo'lganiga biz hali oxirgacha o'zimiz uchun bittanaqaga kelmadik. Olamizmi yo'qmi funksiyalarni aynan mana shu instrumentlar bo'yicha, lekin talablarni oladigan bo'ldik va xizmatlarni ham olamiz. Chunki funksiyani o'zi juda ko'p anaqa ish talab qiladi. Juda ham katta mehnat, bu admin reforma aslida. O'shanga balkim boshlang'ich etapda faqat o'sha talab bilan xizmatlarga urg'u bersak, 2 yildan keyin balkim biz ham o'sha funksiyalarga qo'shilib qanaqadir yordam berardik deb o'ylaymiz. Biz hali мы еще обсуждаем adliyoy, посмотрим. Lekin xizmatlar bo'yicha baribir alohida doim chiqish kerak, PKM, o'shanga ham reyestrga kiritilyapti. Talablar bo'yicha sizlarning idoranglarda har bittasida bor. Talablar ham havodan paydo bo'lmayapti. Hammasi bu NPA qilib, vedomstvenniy akt qilib chiqarilyapti. To'g'rimi?
Isomovlar aka, uzr. Boya aytdilar, bizlar bilan ishlanganda har bitta vazirlikda talab o'zi kiritgan dedilar. Men hozir saytga kirib ham topaman-da reyestrdan, misol uchun. Qaysi xat bilanmi, topshiriq bilanmi qandaydir chiqarilganmi, kim mas'ul qilib olinganmi yoki o'sha qaysi boshqarma kiritish bergan, o'sha bo'yicha bir hujjat bersangiz, men so'rardim-da ulardan kiritish nimasi bo'yicha-da. O'shanga yordam bersangiz. Talab degan yaxshi bu yerga kelib bo'lganda, Rustam aka bilan kelgan paytda ham gaplashib turib, nima suhbatlanib turgan payti yaxshi narsaga haqiqatdan talab qilingan hujjatlar bo'lishi mumkin, boshqa bir xizmatning natijasi bo'lishi mumkin. O'sha haqiqatdan bir qism aylanadigan xizmatni muhim o'sha baholashda ham kriteriyasi hisoblanaganda.
Yana bitta narsa, masalan, ular hozir bizga ko'rsatishdi, bolalar tug'ilganda, chaqaloq tug'ilganda o'sha hamma xizmatlarni bitta joyda qilib bo'lgan. Mana shu ishni aynan adliya necha yil oldin qilib bo'lgan u. 3-4 yil bo'ldi menimcha. To есть xizmatlar bo'yicha ko'z tegmasi juda ko'p ishlar qilindi O'zbekistonda. Bizda mana ortiqcha hujjatlar ham hozir talab qilinmayapti. Asosiy xizmatlar bo'yicha, lekin masalan tadbirkorlikda ahamiyat bergan bo'lsanglar, bugun ham dokladda masalan asosida o'tirgan edilar, как раз investitsion klimat bo'yicha, to'g'rimi? Tadbirkorlik bo'yicha, anaqa zamonaviy administratsiya. Chunki juda ko'p talablar bizga ko'rinmaydigan darajada bor. Ko'payyapti soni ham, chunki kontrol hali ishga qo'yilmadi. O'shanga bizga baribir davlat xizmatdan ancha-muncha ishlar qilindi. Lekin ertalab bugun ham aytdim-ku, juda ko'p boshqa vazirlik bilan ishlashga kelganda hech hamma o'zini olib qochyapti. Men nechta qo'shma qarorlarni ko'rganman, o'zim ham ishlab chiqqanman. Qog'ozda zo'r chiqadi, chiqqandan keyin o'ladi. O'zinglar yaxshi bilasizlar, to'g'rimi? Tushuntirish shart emas. Chunki qachon, qanaqa qilib ishga qo'yiladi, nima o'zinglar yaxshi bilasizlar, muammosi ko'p. Undan tashqari mana talablar ham yozilmaydi, hech qayerda ko'rinmaydi, lekin odam o'sha olganda borganda boshlanyapti. Ma'mur ham olib kelib, qayerda yozilgan, nima yozilgan, hech kim bilmaydi, javob bera olmaydi. Balki mana shunga ko'proq urg'u berishimiz kerak deb o'ylayapmiz. Chunki aytibman, xizmatlar bo'yicha ancha-muncha biz o'tib bo'ldik-da. O'sha masalan Gruziya, Qozog'iston biz uchun 10 yil oldin primer bo'lgan namuna. Endi kechirib qo'yasiz, ham Gruziya, ham Qozog'iston qolib ketdi. O'zbekiston ancha o'sha oldinda bizda.
Ularda ariza berish bor-da, bu yoq qo'lga ketadi, ariza berish ko'rsatib.
Bizanikilarga ulardan o'rganib, shu ma'noda biz xitoyliklarga o'xshaymiz. Biz zo'r o'rganib olib, ko'plik qilib olamiz, o'tiramiz, xursand bo'lib. Ulardan o'rganib oldik biz. Zo'r, o'sha o'tib bo'ldik. Lekin mana talab, funksiya, muammosi bir go'r. Va davlat xizmatlari mana bevosita 3-4tasini balkim qamrab olib ishlaydi biz. Chunki mana anaqaga borganimizda, xalq qabulxonasiga borganimizda hamma eng yomon, eng og'ir bo'layotgan muammolar bitta idoraga tegishli emas. Mana aliment olaylik. Birinchi o'rinda aliment. Bu bittaga emas. Yoki mana nafaqa bolalarga 4-5tasiga borish kerak. Balki mamlaqalardan olib, qanaqadir reinjiniring qilib,
hozir servis bundle deganda o'sha nima qildim, o'sha 3-4ta keys aytib berdim.
Qasdagi tegishli servis bundle.
O'ziga aloqador bo'lmasa ham boshqalarni nima qilib, jalb qilib, davay mana bunaqa qilamiz, biz qilishimiz kerak degan narsa kompozitni qilib, yo proaktiv qilib qilish kerak bo'ladi. Baholashda
balkim alohida kategoriya qilar biz. Chunki biz O'zbekiston kontekstiga moslashtirishimiz kerak. Balkim alohida kategoriya qilamiz, совместный услугаlar bo'lsa, ular yutib olsin, to'g'rimi? Yaxshi bo'larmidi, yo'qmi?
Stimul bo'ladi.
Stimul bo'ladi, motivatsiya bo'ladi. Qanaqa qilib 3-4 idora bevosita birgalashib ishlab chiqib, boshqatdan uslugani taqdimot qiladi.
Bunday to'lov bizga boshlangan yo'lnoma qilish kerak, hamda ish uchun.
Buni qilib beramiz, o'zbekchasiga o'girib, biz asosiysi hozir sizlar bilan mana mazgavur shturm qilyapmiz, to'g'rimi? Muhokama qilyapmiz. Tushunarsiz joylari qolganmi, yo'qmi? Yoki masalan o'zimizda hali yo'q bo'lgan narsani qanaqa qilib adaptatsiya qila olamiz? Mana hozir o'rganib oldik. Даже жалобаlarning soni yiliga masalan, to'g'rimi? Mana shunga o'xshagan narsalarni o'zimiz uchun tushunib olib, hazm qilib, keyin sizlarga o'zbekchasiga chiroyli qilib, уже полностью 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 qadam qilib yuboramiz. Baholash mezonini ham biz olib qo'ydik boshida. Tayyorlab qo'ydik, keyin lekin cho'chitib olib oldik, chunki hozir o'ylab, balkim may oxirlarida qilar biz. Chunki biz hozir sizlarni ham eshitib olishimiz kerak edi.
Aziza, is all okay, or do you need any support?
No, everything is fine. So we just discussed how we can adjust what we see to our local context.
Okay.
And for example, the first one, which is discuss customer satisfaction result, we don't measure this. So we can do this as one of
event when they establish the services, and it will be basically for us the replacement for this. Yeah. So with this table and with the next one, we are fine. We will just need, as we asked before, to have maybe more time to discuss how we're going to do
the value and complexity assess Or
Yes,
no?
yes. For that one, from 1 to 5, what should be the rating criteria? That we will not just rely on perception, but rather have it in front of us. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
It's not
means
mainly perception, as I told you. For example, yeah, as I told you, maybe the project need, for example, as you assess the project need 3 technical resources, and you have only 1 technical resources. So by default, you know the rating. You know, it's not about the perception. It's you can check with the entity itself. What's the resources allocating in the entity itself?